So dear student, I Rakesh Jain from Gyanwar University. Today I am going to teach you about the sharing bridge. We will derive the formula for the how to measure the unknown inductance with the help of sharing bridge. With the help of this lecture, you will be easily understand what the concept of bridges, how many types of bridges, which can be categorized as DC bridge, which can be categorized as AC bridge, how we can measure the self-inductance of a coil via sharing bridge, that is a AC bridge. So let's start. First of all, just see this MS-PAT file where I am going to draw the complete things related with the sharing bridge, the circuit diagram, the derivation we will do there. So let's start. Yes. So here, this I just write down the name of the topic, that is a bridge. So I just mentioned to the date also, that is 6. Now let's start. So what is a bridge basically? Basically, bridge is a four-arm device. Bridge is basically a four-arm device which is used to measure certain parameters like resistance of self-inductance of a coil, capacitance of a capacitor, frequency, etc. So it is a component measuring instrument actually. So uh, bridge is a four-arm device or circuit or instrument. Which is a four-arm device. Which is a component measuring instrument. Which is a four-arm device. Which is a four-arm device. It is a component measuring instrument. It can be used to measure resistance, reactance like self-inductance of a coil, capacitance, frequency, etc. There are so many purposes to use the bridge. Basically, a bridge can be categorized into two major categories. Bridge can be categorized into two major categories. One is AC bridge, and the second one is DC bridge. Bridge can be categorized into two different categories. One is AC bridge, and the second one is DC bridge. So there are two categories for the bridge: DC bridge, and the second one is AC bridge. It's here. AC bridge. Okay. Now, what are the difference between the DC bridge and AC bridge? First of all, DC bridge will use a DC power supply. First of all, the DC bridge will use a DC power supply. Whereas for the proper operation, proper working, the AC bridge uses the AC power supply in their circuit, as the name implies, direct current and alternating current source. The DC bridge uses the detector like the galvanometer, whereas the AC bridges uses the detector like the headphones. So detector element is the second difference. Now the third thing, how many category of the DC bridges? Actually, DC bridges can be categorized as Wheatstone bridge to measure the resistance, Kelvin bridge. The DC bridges are basically used to measure the resistance. DC bridge used to measure resistance, whereas the AC bridge are used to measure reactance, like the capacitance, inductance. These are the reactive part of the circuit. That's why it can be used to measure the reactance. The DC bridges can be categorized as Wheatstone bridge to measure the resistance, Wheatstone bridge Meter bridge is also a type of Wheatstone we can say for the measure the resistance of an unknown wire. That's why I do not write down in the category term, but meter bridge is also a category. Then Kelvin bridge, Wheatstone bridge, Kelvin bridge. Are basically two bridges. Apart from these two, one more DC bridge is present, but because that is also used for to measure the resistance of a unknown wire, that's why we can write down as that bridge as Wheatstone meter bridge. Now the AC bridges, actually the AC bridges are of seven different types. Seven, seven different category for the AC bridge. The Wien bridge to measure the frequency, like to measure the capacitance of a capacitor, we use the Sherrick bridge. So first of all, I just write down the name of those types. Okay. Also, the Wagner earthing is possible in case of required in case of AC bridge, but in case of DC bridge, it is not required. In case of DC bridge, it is not required. So, how many types of AC bridges are there? So, there are so many types of AC bridges. The first one is Wayne Bridge, Anderson Bridge, Bridge self-conductance of a coil, Sherring Bridge, Wayne Bridge, Anderson Bridge, Sherring Bridge, then Hayes Bridge, Maxwell Bridge, Hayes Bridge, Maxwell Bridge, Setu Bridge, Maxwell Bridge, Hayes Bridge, Anderson Bridge, Sherring Bridge, Wayne Bridge, D. Setu Bridge, Campbell Bridge. There are seven different categories for the AC bridges. Now I am going to teach you about the Anderson bridge. So Anderson bridge is a AC bridge which is used to measure the self-inductance of a coil. So how we can measure? Let's derive the expression for measuring the self-inductance of a coil using the Sherring bridge. So let's just save this file. New file. So Anderson bridge, basically it is used to measure the self-inductance of a coil. It is an AC bridge which is used to measure self-inductance. It is an AC bridge which is basically used to measure the self-inductance of a coil. So it consists basically the AC power supply, the detector element, it may be a headphones, right? And resistance, inductance, whose self-inductance I want to find out, a variable resistance and power supply. So see how the Anderson bridge actually looks like. So this is a circuit diagram I am going to do for the Anderson bridge. So see it very carefully. Okay. So this is a resistance. This is resistance. So there are four arms as I have already been told in the bridge. So first of all, I just mention those four arms. So two arms in which two resistances are connected. Third arm in which a resistance and an inductance whose self-inductance I want to find out is connected. And the fourth arm also consists of the resistance indicator. Let this, I just write down the name of those resistance. Let this resistance is your P, this one is your Q, PQ, this one is your, this is a variable resistance, let's suppose, whose value is PQS. Okay. This is a inductance L. So PQ inductance resistance S, and this is your R. So PQ RS are four resistances. L is the inductance, and let there be a small value resistance. Where of small r is there. Let this resistance is small r. The capacitance is also connected in between these two arms. Whose capacitance is C, and the detector element is connected here. D stands for the detector. So at balance there will be no current flow in the detector element. Remember this thing. In all bridges, this is a common thing that there will be no current flow in the detector element. So P, Q, R, and S are four resistances in which the S is a variable resistance and a minor resistance R is also connected. Let the name of those branches can be as these nodes can be known as A. So we can create different meshes B, C, and let this is your D. And a power supply is also connected. So I just connect the power supply over here. Because this is an AC bridge, that's why the power supply should be of AC source. So AC source is also connected. So this is a complete diagram of a sharing bridge in which four arms connected four resistances. One is P, one is Q, one is S, one is R. The third arm in between the C and D, I am talking about this branch. And inductance whose self-inductance I want to find out, L is connected. Detector is present, capacitor is present, and a minor resistance R is also connected. The power supply is connected at the node A and C. In between the node A and C, that should be AC power supply. It should be AC power supply. Let the current enters in this bridge via this one. Okay. So let's suppose the current in the different branches can be termed as, I just draw with the green color for the currents. So see, let this is the current which flow as I1. In this, the current will be flow is I2. Now this I2 current will go here, but there will be no current flow at this direction. That's why the total current will be flow upward. So the total current I2 will be as it is flow there. Now this I1 and I2, see this I1 in this direction, also this I2 in this direction. So at the node B, according to the Kirchhoff current law, the incoming current is sum of the incoming current is equal to the outgoing current. So it will be equal to this current, that is actually I1 plus I2. So that is equal to I1 plus I2 because both are meet at a node B. So I1 plus I2 current will be flown through this. And this third branch current is I3. Okay. Now what is the total current in this circuit? The total current enters from this node A. That's why the total current supplied by the power supply, AC's power supply is I1 plus I2 plus I3 definitely. I1 plus I2 plus I3. And the total current leave the circuit by the same value I1 plus I2 plus I3. The I3 current enters here. See this one at node D. The I3 current will come in this direction because no current flow through the detector. That's why the total current I3 will flow through the inductance and the resistance S. That's why here the current is I3. Okay, now this is a representation of an Anderson bridge which is used to measure the self-inductance of a coil. So here we connect all the circuitry and we just draw the levels for the current and there with their directions. So now we find out the value of the, now we will find out how to calculate the self-inductance of a coil cable. So first of all, just to see that in mesh A, B, C, D, A, in this mesh, see here in this mesh A, B, C, D, A, the I1 current enters via resistance P. So I1 P plus I1 plus I2 Q plus I3 because the current, but the current in my I am going to anti-clockwise direction from A to B anti-clock, B to C anti-clock. But when I want, I have to go from C to D. But the direction of the current is clockwise. That's why I am opposite to that direction. My path and the given current path is opposite to each other. That's why I have to write down with negative sign. So negative I3, now one resistance and one reactive element. So reactive elements are of two types. One is resistance, one is capacitance. So for the resistance, I have to write down J omega L, and for the capacitance, I have to write down 1 upon J omega C. So here a resistive element is there. That's why with minus sign, minus I3 S plus J omega L, and also from D to A, my direction and the current given direction is opposite to each other. So my minus I3R, that is equal to 0. That is equal to 0. So I just write down this thing. I just write down this thing. So see, dash A B C D A, A B C D A. Okay, A B C D. Now see very carefully. I am talking about this, and I choose anti-clockwise direction. Now my A B. So first when I go to A to B, now see A to B, my current is I1 and resistance is P. So what will be the value? I1 P will be the value. So I just write down until I will write down. So, so it is I1 P. Okay. Then B to C, A to B, B to C. So I am going here. Now see, B to C, my current is I1 plus I2 and resistance is Q, and the direction is same in which I am going. So I1P plus I1 plus I2 into Q. So I can write down them separately. So I1Q, okay, I just write down first of all. I1 plus I2 is the current, and the voltage is Q. Sorry, resistance is Q. Then plus C to D when I'm going, I am here. But the direction of the current is opposite to my direction, which I choose anti-clockwise. That's why I have to write down with negative sign. So I have to put here negative. This is Q. So don't be confused. I once again write down this thing. Then minus sign. Current is I3. That's why I will write down I3. And what is the total resistive part? S plus G omega. S plus G omega. And because reactive part, that is a, in terms of inductance is there. S plus G omega multiplied by I3. So, minus, now see once again, I am going to D to A, but the given direction of current, but the given current direction is opposite to my direction. So I have to write down with negative sign. So minus I3, that is equal to 0. So I1P plus I1 plus I2Q plus S plus J omega L I3 minus I3 are equal to 0. So I can write down, if I put the I1 common from first to, so I1 is common, then P plus Q plus I2Q, that is equal to I3 in bracket S plus R plus J omega L. So I can write down this thing like this one. See very carefully. So I1 I just write down together. So in bracket I will have P plus Q. Then plus I2Q, that is equal to I3 will be common from these two negative terms, and in bracket we will have S plus R plus J omega L, or S plus J omega L plus R. Both things are same. Plus let it be your equation number 1. That it is my equation number 1. Okay. Now see that now see my equation number 2. Now see my equation number 2, which is from the second mesh, that is ABEA. Consider the second mesh as ABEA. I am talking about this, which I shown you in the diagram with orange color. See this one. First I have to go from A to B, A, B, E, A. Then I have to go B to E. Which one is E? The E is the middle terminal. That is the second terminal of capacitance. I just write down here. This one is my E terminal. Okay. So second one is from orange color, just see. First A to B, then B to E, A, B, E, A. Then E to A, A, B, E, A. So I'm talking about this mesh. Okay. So consider the mesh ABE. So just write down here. Mesh ABE. Now see. I just choose the anti-clockwise direction. That's why. First of all, when I go to A to B, my current is I1 and resistance is P. That's why I1 plus P. So sorry, I1B. So it will be I1. Then I have to go from B to second mesh. Then I have to go from B to E. So my direction is from top to bottom, but the current direction is opposite. In which one current is there, I2, and C. I am talking about the top to bottom direction, B to E. But here the direction of the current is I2. That is in opposite direction. That's why I have to write down with negative sign. Current is I2 and resistance is small r. That's why I2. Okay, small r is there. Then I have to go in this direction, E to A. From left to right I am going, but the current direction is opposite, which I encircled now. The current direction is I2. So I have to write down with negative sign. So that is minus I2, because this is also a reactive element, but it is a capacitance. So I have to write down by 1 upon j omega c. So together when I multiply them, I2 with 1 upon j omega c, so it will be I2 divided by j omega c. Only 3. So this mesh is I1P plus I1P minus I2R minus I2 upon j omega c equal to 0. So I can see that with the help of this, I can write down I2 is equal to I1P is equal to I2 R plus 1 upon j omega c, or I1P minus I2 I can take as a common. So what will be my second equation? See. What will be my second equation? From this equation, I can write down that in these two terms, I just take I2 as a common. So here I2 will be outside. Okay. I2 will be common from these two terms. And in bracket, I just take I2 outside. So R plus 1 upon j omega c will be remaining there. bracket, and this one will be my equation number second. This one will be my equation number second. Now see the mesh AEDA. Now see the mesh AEDA. With this black color, I am going to show you the mesh direction AEDA. So first, I am talking about this mesh. Okay, A to E I will go, then AEDA. E to D I will go, then D to A I will go. Okay, so my direction is in this black color direction. And what is the given current direction? The given current direction in these three branches are in my direction. There will be no current in the detector element, and the current direction is same. So now, what will happen? Now, what will happen? See, this direction is opposite with our direction is opposite. So in the third mesh, only two branches will carry the current. Only A to E, this one, and sorry, with black color I am going to mark here, right, from A to E, and the second one is D to A. Okay. So in mesh AEDA, what will happen? I am writing down. I am talking about mesh AEDA. So see what will happen. When I go from A to E, my current is I2, and element is a reactive element, that is capacitance. That's why I have to write down the voltage as 1 upon j omega c multiplied by the current I2. So the current I2 divided by the current I2 divided by j omega c. So I2 divided by j omega c. And now there will be no current flow in the detector element. So I just mark here cross. So because there is no current flow in this. Now my direction is this one, anti-clockwise. But the given current direction which I mark from this black color now, I3 is opposite to my direction. So I have to write down with negative sign. So current is I3 and resistance is R. So that is equal to I2 upon j omega c minus I3R, and none other element will be remaining here. So that is equal to 0. So I can write down this one as I2 upon j omega c is equal to I3R, because this minus I3R whenever will move towards the right hand side, then what will happen? And this will move towards the right hand side. So this negative sign will be neglected, and this completely equal to I3R. So I2 upon j omega c is equal to I3R. So this is my equation number 3 for this Anderson equation. This is my equation number. So this one is my equation number 3, which show you that with the help of these three mesh analysis, I just find out the value of those different mesh equation. Equation number 1, equation number 2, that is I1b minus I2R plus 1 upon j omega c, and equation number 3. So with this equation number 3, I can say that I2, I can find out the value I2 directly. So I2 is equal to j omega c I3R, j omega c I3R. So just write down this. So what is I2 from this equation? So I2 is actually equal to, so this j omega c will be moved to right hand side. J omega c will be moved at the right hand side. So j omega c I3R. J omega c R I3 we can say. J omega c R, and I3 is also. So I just mentioned this one as equation number 4. Now, with the help of equation number 1, I can find out the value of I3. Okay, and just put that value in equation number 4. So I just write down here. From equation 1 into equation 4. Let's see what will happen. I3 value from equation number 1 into equation number 4. So what is the equation of I3 from equation number 1, if I to find out, then I2 is equal to j omega RC multiplied by I3. So I3 is equal to what? I1 P plus Q plus I2 Q divided by S plus R plus j omega N. Okay, so just write down here. So what will happen? I2 is equal to, so I will find equation number 4. Equation number 4 is this one. So I have to put from equation number 1 to, so I2 is equal to, I2 is equal to G omega CR is as it is. So G omega C and R is as it is. I have to put only the value of I3 from this equation, equation number 1. So what it will be? So at the right hand side I3 multiplied by S plus R plus J omega N, but at the left hand side all things are common. So I1 P plus Q, I1 in bracket there will be P plus Q. So I1 P plus Q plus I2 Q. Okay. Okay. So I1 P plus Q plus I2 Q divided by S plus R plus G omega N, divided by S plus R plus G omega N. It is S plus R plus G omega N. Okay. So now I1 P plus Q plus I2 Q plus G omega L. Now this I2 will be multiplied by right hand side S plus R plus G omega L divided by I1 P plus Q plus I2 Q, that is equal to G omega CR I1P, G omega CR I1P S plus R plus G omega multiplied by I2 divided by G omega C. Okay, now see from the top side. I am going to solve with this top side. Now see very carefully. So just remove this side. I just remove the top side. See very carefully. Now I am going to start with the top. So I2 will be multiplied by, so this I2 will be multiplied by S plus R plus J omega L from this S plus R plus J omega L divided by J omega CR divided by J omega CR, and at the right hand side we will have only I1 P plus Q, I1 P plus Q plus I2Q. So at the right hand side, we will find out that at the left hand side, I2 S plus R plus J omega L, that is equal to I1 P plus Q plus I2Q. Or we can say, we can move this I2Q from the right hand side towards the left hand side also. So we will have this minus Q, because I2 will be common. When I move this term, so only minus Q will be remaining in the bracket. Minus Q will be remaining here. bracket only minus q will be. So I2 s plus r plus j omega l minus q is equal to I1 p plus q. Now I can divide this equation. Let's suppose this is my equation number 5. Let's suppose this is my equation number 5. And I just want to divide this equations 5. I just want to divide this equation number 5 by equation number 2, which is this one. Okay. So divide this equation by equation number 2. I just write over here. Divide equation 5 by equation. Divide the equation number 5 by equation number 2. So what will happen? Just see here. Just move it. Okay. So equation, this equation is I1 p plus q at the right hand side, and here at the we have I1 p. So I1 p plus q divided by I1 p is equal to I2 s plus r plus j omega l upon j omega c r minus q. That will be divided by r plus 1 upon j omega c. R plus 1 upon j omega c. Now see what will happen. Just remove this. And now to divide this equation. So I just copy first of all equation 5 in which I want to do the division. This is I2 h plus r. This is my equation number 5, which I want to divide by equation number 2. So equation number 2, I1 term is I1p. So I just move it at the right hand side. This and the equal to I2 r plus 1 upon j omega c. So I just move this term to the left hand side. I can do this, no problem. And I just remove all the other things. Okay. And this is a division line at the left hand side and the right hand side. Now what will happen? See with this green color, this I2 to I2 will be cancelled out. This I1 to I1 will be cancelled. So p plus q divided by p multiplied by r plus 1 upon j omega c, or we can say r j omega c plus 1 divided by j omega c. Okay. And multiplied by p plus q, okay, divided by p. And at the right hand side, s plus r plus j omega l upon j omega cr minus q. So that is s plus r plus j omega cl minus q j omega cr divided by j omega cr. Okay. So what will happen? I see this one. I just remove these bottom terms and show you the complete. Yes. So I just take a denominator and from this equation. And, sorry, I just take an LCM from this. So LCM is j omega cr. So I just write down here j omega c. J omega cr is the LCM. Okay. So s plus r plus j omega l. So s plus r plus j omega l minus q is multiplied by j omega cr, so that is j omega cr q. Okay. And at the right hand side, what will we have? P plus q divided by p we have already have. P plus q divided by p we already have. Okay. That will be multiplied by r plus 1 upon j omega c. So here the LCM is j omega c. So I just put j omega c as a LCM. So it is r g omega c, small r g omega c plus 1. Okay, fine. So the left hand side have s plus r plus j omega l minus j omega c r q divided by j omega c r, and the right hand side have p plus q divided by p r j omega c plus 1 upon j omega c. Okay, so what I want to say, just multiply by the right hand side, the, multiply and divide the right hand side by r, and then we will rearrange. So I just write down this thing which I am going to do. Multiply the RHS by the right hand side. I get the right hand side. Multiply and rearrange. So whatever I want to do, I just remove these upper terms which we have already been used, and now I am going to divide. What I want to see, I just multiply the right hand side by capital R and also divide it by capital R. So there will be no problem. And now I rearrange these things. So this P multiply by capital R and Q also multiply by capital R. Then R j omega C multiply by P R j omega C P R, then with QR also, and I will find out the answer of that. So see, this left hand right hand side. Now at the right hand side, I just write down at left hand place. This P multiplied by capital R here, and this Q also multiplied by capital R. PR plus QR. Now divided by P, and then PR plus QR divided by P, then multiply by R j omega C plus 1 upon j omega C. R j omega C R j omega C plus 1 divided by j omega CR. Okay, so P plus PR plus QR divided by P multiply by R j omega C plus 1. At this side, j omega CR to j omega CR will be cancel out. I already cancelled them. J omega CR to j omega CR. Once again, see with this yellow color, I am going to cancel out these two. J omega CR to j omega CR already cancel out. So this right hand side will be PR plus QR divided by P multiplied by R j omega C plus 1 divided by j omega. Sorry, no need to write down this j omega CR now because I have already been cancelled out that term. So only R j omega C plus 1 will be remaining at the numerator side, and at the denominator side only P will be remaining. Okay. Similarly, what will it be at the right hand side? So at the right hand side, at the remaining side, what will be remaining? So it will be another side. So at the other side only S. Now this P will be multiplied. Now we can move this P at the left hand side. Now we can move this P. I'm talking about this. Now we can move this P at left hand side. So I just writing down this P at the left hand side. So I just remove this also. Don't be confused. This is a simple mathematical addition. Okay. So now what will happen? Now this P will be multiplied by S. So this is SP. Now this R multiplied by P, that is RP. Then j omega L multiplied by P, that is j omega LP. and this minus j omega r q also multiplied by p. So that is j omega c r q c r capital Q also multiplied by p. Also multiplied by p. So SR SP plus RP plus j omega LP minus j omega c r QP. Okay, and at the left hand side, now this PR and this term will be multiplied by R j omega c plus 1. So PR R j omega c PR R j omega c plus PR plus QR R j omega c plus QR R j omega c plus QR that this total term is equal to, okay, to decrease, I just move it at the left hand side, so there will be more space to show this. So this is a mathematical term, should be clear. So this all about the left hand side. And what will be the right hand side? The right hand side will be this total term. So now see PR R j omega c. So what we will find out now? PR to PR will be cancel out. So with this black color, I am going to cancel out. See, this PR will be cancel out with this RP. Okay. Now RQ will be remaining. RQ will be remaining, and the okay real part and imaginary part. So wherever there is J term, J omega term, that is a imaginary part. So at the left hand side, the imaginary part is J omega. So in bracket, if I am going to write down, so if J omega is the constant term, then small r p capital R, from this I am going to write down. So J omega is common. So R, P, R and C will be common. And from the this line, when j omega is outside, then capital Q, R, small r, and C will be common. Okay, C will be common. So R, P, R, or if I am taking the whole R, C, and capital R, then P plus Q will be remaining. So once again, I am going to show you that if apart from these, what is common in between these two imaginary terms at the left hand side. See, j omega is present in both these terms. So j omega is present. Small r is present. So small r is present. Capital R is also present. So capital R is also present. And C is also present. So C is also present. So what will be remaining in bracket? R j omega C R j omega C R, and P will be remaining plus Q will be remaining. Then only P plus Q will be remaining. Okay. This is the left hand imaginary part. And what is the real part? Real part is only this one, Q. And from the right hand side, I will show that the real part is SP. And what is the imaginary part? So we can write down j omega LP. I can take as, because I have to find out the formula for the inductance. I have to find out the formula for the inductance. Okay. So j omega LP minus, so j, if I put the j omega at the outside, so j omega is common and P is common. So L minus j omega and P is common. So C, R and Q is at the outside. Okay, so now compare the real and imaginary part. Now compare the real and imaginary part. compare the real and imaginary. Then what will happen? See this one. If we compare the real and imaginary, then we will find out the final formula for the self-inductance of a coil. By compare only the real part, then we will find out that QR is equal to SP. That is a general condition for bridge to be balanced. That QR is equal to SP. That is the QR is equal to SP is the basic condition for the bridge to be balanced. So this is by comparing the real part. This is by comparing the real part. But what when we will compare the imaginary part? So this j omega, when we will compare the imaginary part, this j omega p plus q, when we will compare the imaginary part, j omega r c p plus q, that will be equal to the imaginary j omega p l minus cr q, j omega p l minus cr. Okay, so now what will happen? From this red color I just cancel out, so this j omega to j omega will be cancelled out, and with the help of this we'll find out the self inductance of a coil formula. L is equal to rc in bracket rc in bracket there will be pr plus qr minus pq minus pq and divided by p. So this will be your final formula for the self-inductance of this coil, which we just find out with the help of this bridge. This is the final formula. Okay, sorry, I just this is the final formula for self-inductance of a coil, which I just encircled. Okay, so this is the self-inductance of a coil. We can easily determine with the help of Maxwell equation. Now we are going to solve certain objective questions on the same topic. So look at the objective questions. I just save this file. The objective questions. 2 minutes. Objective questions. Now see some objective questions on this. Yes. So Anderson bridge, there are some questions which I just come. Anderson bridge is used for, like, from the Google I am showing you just. Let's suppose this is a question. So Anderson bridge is used to measure. Anderson bridge is used for. So for which thing Anderson bridge we use? Definitely to measure the self-inductance of a coil. So that's why the answer number A is my correct answer. That self-inductance of a coil can be measured by the Anderson bridge. It is a modification of actually the Maxwell bridge, which I have already been taught you that Maxwell bridge is used to measure the inductance of a coil. That's why for a mind question, right? It is a graded kind of question that it is a modified form of which bridge. It is a modified form of which bridge. So you can write down that it is a modified form of Wheatstone bridge, Maxwell bridge, Kelvin bridge, or shading bridge. So it will be the which one is the correct answer? It will be the modified form of Maxwell bridge because Maxwell bridge can also be used to measure the inductance of a inductance, and here it is also. So Anderson bridge basically used for. Now see one more example. Anderson bridge is used for. See this third question of objective. Anderson bridge is basically used for, so definitely it is basically used to measure the self-inductance of a coil. So it is a, which one is the unknown quantity here? The inductance. Okay. Now these are certain numericals on which we have. Okay. Now these two examples, two objective questions also see like this one. So, so Anderson bridge true and false kind of conditions. I just remove the answers and we will provide the answer on our bit on the basis of our bit. That Anderson bridge makes use of a variable capacitance. No, it will not use a variable capacitor. It will not use a variable capacitor. Instead, it used a constant capacity. That's why it is a false condition. Anderson bridge is a very basic. No, it is a special kind of bridge. So it is false. False. Okay, so these are certain objective questions. I think you understand. I think you understand about this Anderson bridge derivations. So I Rakesh Jain from Ganga University says thanks to you for watching the video. Thank you very much.